Ukraine 33rd Independence Day. The fight for freedom across borders. Update from Ukraine and Russia. This is what we will talk about today. С Днем Незалежности Украины. And glory to Ukraine. Hello there. I am Elena. Welcome again to my channel. Enough of propaganda. Please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Let's make truth available for everyone. This is actually my very important video. Just the facts, the state of Ukraine. In this video, I'm talking about Ukrainian independence and how Ukraine got its independence. And by the way, the Canada where I am from is one of the two countries who were the first countries who recognized the independence of Ukraine. Poland and Canada. We are the first. And congratulations, Ukraine. I recommend to watch the passionate speech by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky on the Ukrainian Independence Day. To celebrate the Independence Day with Ukraine came Prime Minister of Lithuania, Ingrida Šimonytė, and also President of Poland, Andrzej Duda. This video is from current time, the unannounced arrival of President of Poland, and the European leaders from Poland and from Lithuania congratulating Ukraine on their Independence Day. And I'm from Canada, congratulate them too. And what I like that in her speech, Ingrida Šimonytė said that by defending your land from Russian aggression, basically, you defending all of us. You are defending even her country, Lithuania, Europe, and all the democratic world. This is true, and I agree with this. And I wish my Canadian Prime Minister will be there as well, but I don't see him at this moment, in Ukraine anyways. According to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, Ukraine first time used the new weapon, which kinda like a missile and a drone at the same time. It called Palyanytsya, which is, in Ukrainian, it means type of bread, hearth-baked bread, made mostly of wheat flour at home oven. So, as far as current time, said they don't know where they used it, but the use of it was successful. I think I might be able to shed a little bit of light on this. According to Mr. Tiesenhausen and Union channel, I'll show you what is, in his opinion, was the use of that Palyanytsya in Russia. This is, according to Russian propaganda, is a pieces of Ukrainian drone. So this was Palyanytsya, according to Mr. Tizengausen. We will see if it's true soon enough. Maria Kiseleva, the reporter of the current time news, is saying that in Voronezh region, this is the blow up I just showed you, it happened in Voronezh region, Ostrogorsk, Voronezh region, and this is where the blow up was, and it sounds like a secondary detonation is continuing for at least 8 hours after the initial strike. In this area, beside the storage of the ammunition, also is the military training center of Russian Ministry of Defense is located. But obviously the aim was the ammunition depot, and it still keep blowing up. This is Michael Naki's channel, and now they started to be able to make good, really beautiful maps. So this is Kharkiv, this is Belgorod, this is Volgograd, Russian territory, and this is Rostov on Don. So basically, these are the main events which happened recently. One of them is still going on for many days. Russia cannot extinguish the fire in the Rostov region. I'll show you a little more in a minute. Another thing, near my hometown Volgograd, in Marinovka Air Base. This airbase was hit by Ukraine, and these are the results. And another important thing was destruction of the ferry in the Port Caucasus. It's in near Crimea. which Russia is using to deliver ammunition, to deliver fuel. In this case, it was fuel. So these are successful Ukrainian hits in the last days. And we will talk a little bit more about Ukrainian advances in Kursk region in a minute. This is the Insider, and one of the quite a big article where you can find out more about the situation. More than 100 conscripts disappeared and were captured in the Kursk region. The first tsar-barbecue with rubber burdocks. What's happening at the front? So they discussing lots of things, from the stuff what happened near New York in Ukraine and near Toretsk and Russian movements towards Pokrovsk. In today's summary, basically from August 23rd, Ukrainian troops are expanding their presence in the east of Glushkovsky district in Kursk region, which is Russian territory. Advisor to the acting governor of the Kursk region, Roman Alekhin, called on residents of the region city Rylsk to evacuate as soon as possible. I showed you Rylsk in my previous videos. Between Rylsk, near Rylsk, that was the column of Russian troops was blown up. The Ukraine 3rd Separate Assault Brigade reported a successful counterattack in Svatov direction. The Russian armed forces can't gain a foothold in New York, which is also in Ukraine, are trying to change the direction of the assault on Toretsk itself, on the fly, basically quickly. Drones again attacked oil depot in Proletarsk in Rostov region. That's what the fire I was talking about. The fire that continues for the 6th day. Agency news: over the summer, 2,000 missiles and drones were fired across the regions of the Russian Federation and the occupied territories of Ukraine. Important Stories channel and website identified the names of 129 conscripts who were captured and disappeared in the Kursk region. And a new stage of the development. Russian barbecue builders show the new stage of development of tsar barbecues with continuous lining with rubber burdocks. I'll show you in a minute what it is. And this is how Russians started to cover their tanks with rubber. This is what the article was talking about. And detailed information about what is happening in the front. Glushkovsky district and the Seym River. As I told you, all 3 bridges on the River Seym were blown up. And basically, in the last time I showed you 2 bridges, now all 3 bridges blown up. Russia basically in the cauldron there. It's not completely encirclement, because on one side is the river and on the other side are Ukrainian forces. So about 2,000 to 3,000 Russian troops are captured, basically closed in the area where they can't really escape, because Ukraine not only destroyed the bridges on the Seym River, but also destroying the pontoons, which Russia is trying to build to evacuate military equipment. They only can swim across, I guess, as a people, but they can't really bring any equipment because they're gonna be blown up. An oil depot in Proletarsk in Rostov region, which I was just talking to you about, it's still burning for the 6th day. And actually, recently it was attacked by a Ukrainian drone again. And the worst part of it is the fire is spreading now on the dry grass and the cattails and going towards basically civilian buildings now. This is the Moscow Times article about it. A fire in an oil depot in the Rostov region spread to residential buildings. You're welcome to read it for yourself. Meanwhile, the priests of the Russian Orthodox Church, hoping to overcome the flames, held a prayer service, but this didn't help. Surprise, surprise. This is what is happening in the Rostov region. This is that fire we're talking about. The firefighters are trying to fight, but it's not helping very much. Meanwhile, trains with the fuel driving right by that fire. This is an accident waiting to happen. So far, Russia can't take this fire under control, and this is now spreading to the civilian houses. This is the fire on that ferry in Port Kavkaz, which transporting about 30 big tanks of fuel kind of like those barrels, pieces of train, which I just showed you. The ferry was burned and sunk right in the harbor. This is the map of Ukraine, this is Crimea, and Port Kavkaz, where that ferry drowned. It's right here. So in this harbor it happened. And basically Russia is running out of ferries to deliver stuff to Ukraine because the bridge isn't reliable after the Ukrainian attacks. They can't really use the bridge, Crimean Kerch bridge, all that much. Ukrainians are moving further into Russian territory. This is a Kursk region. And about 1,250 square kilometers, as far as I heard the last news about it. There are movements near here, like Komarovka. There is fight for Koreneva still going on. Keep in mind that there are two Koreneva places. And they separated by either road or a river, something like this, piece separating two places. One of them completely under Ukrainian control, and the other one, there were some Russians there. But according to my latest information, completely both Koreneva places are cleaned up from Russian troops. Near Alexandrovka, there is information that Ukrainians liberated a bunch of territory here. So Ukrainians not only digging in, they continue to go forward. So any Russian lies you heard that, oh, the Kursk advances of Ukraine stopped, is not true. And one of the examples, this place, Nechayev, where Russians claim they liberated the town. And they even filmed some videos with the burning buildings on the background and say, hurrah, we liberated Nechayev. According to any responsible and any asynchronous, basically, any people who is checking and verifying information, whether what troops, what they checking out, for example, if the tank get blown up and there is a video, they geolocation, everything. Russians never lost control of this point, of this Nechayev. Ukraine have never been there. And according to 2010, it was about 6 people were living in this place. So they couldn't liberate something which wasn't captured in the first place. It's just lie and propaganda. Russian propaganda. And this is deep state map. So this is basically Kursk region. And this is the territory Ukraine is controlled now. So Sudzha definitely controlled and so on. And Ukraine is moving towards Glushkova. Those fights around Koreneva, as I said. And now Russia basically evacuate people from near Rilsk, which is this place. And this is what is happening on Russian side of the border. So from here, from Kursk region, we will jump over here. And this is the only place where Russia, just because of those mid-wave attacks, getting some ground a little bit every day. And they still far away from Pokrovsk, which they trying to make looks like that Pokrovsk almost already taken. Just because Ukrainians are evacuating people from Pokrovsk does not mean that Russia captured Pokrovsk. Russia is just slowly moving towards Pokrovsk. And by the time they get to Pokrovsk, they will have to storm Pokrovsk, which is a well-defended place. So Russia was saying they're gonna capture Chasiv Yar, and it's still not captured. So the same thing most likely will happen to Pokrovsk. It's not like Russia already gaining a whole bunch of ground here or anything. To compare what Ukraine is gaining on Russian territory, Russia basically gaining in Ukraine, on Ukraine territory, nothing. And good luck them to taking Pokrovsk, that's most likely will never happen. But Russia will shell Pokrovsk, and now the artillery will catch there and they probably will destroy the city. That is why Ukrainians are evacuating people from there. So Ukraine is continue to defending itself, and they are pushing Russian forces out of Kharkiv Oblast, Kharkiv region, step by step, Zelensky said. This is Kiev independent. And so far Ukraine doing exceptionally great job with planning, executing that plan to invasion of Kursk region of Russia. They're not committing war crimes like Russia did in Bucha and Slavyansk in 2014 and many other places. Russian people are pretty much safe from Ukrainian army. On purpose, anyways, they wouldn't do anything like that. And they don't. They're actually providing water and food to Ukrainians. The very dangerous news for Russian people is that Russia is running out of men. Russia is running out of prisoners. According to this lady Olga Romanova, she is a human rights defender and she's from the organization Russia Behind Bars. In this year alone, Russia has to close 53 colonies, like prisons, because they can't fill them up with prisoners. Prisoners going to the front right away. And now Russia changed the law in a way that the people who committed the crime but haven't had a court yet and wasn't sentenced yet, and it doesn't matter, like murder, for example, they literally could take the person with a knife from the dead body, fresh, warm corpse, basically, who they just killed. And that person would say, I want to join special military operation in Ukraine. Charges dropped, he's a free man, immediately. Even in the court, if there is a court going on, but the sentence wasn't pronounced yet, and it could be white-collar crime or it could be murder, they could say right before that, seeing how the situation is going and thinking, I'm gonna get 15 years in jail. I don't like that idea. They could say, excuse me, I don't want to be in jail. I don't want to be charged. I want to go to the special military operation. Boom. Case closed, dismissed, and he doesn't even get sentenced, and there wouldn't be a criminal record that somebody killed someone and has to be charged and put in jail. No, he will be a free man going to the front. So the point is, there would be more Russian people conscripted. The more Russian men would be drafted into the army and thrown into this meat grinder. If Russians are thinking it wouldn't affect their children, it will, and it already does. Because conscripts getting captured, and just right now happened one big prisoner swap between Ukraine and Russia. This exchange basically happened 115 people on 215 people they were exchanged. So the young conscripts will be returned to their mamas in Russia, probably not for long, because Putin is trying to pretend that nothing is happening. He went to Azerbaijan, he went to Chechnya, he pretending that nothing is happening. And he doesn't want to take troops from the Pokrovsky area in Ukraine. They're trying to storm Pokrovsk by mid-storms, basically mid-wave attacks. That is why Putin is trying to use the conscripts to fight in Russia, to defend actual Russian territory. And this is what Russians said to Steve Rosenberg and BBC. So he's still brave enough to talk to Russians, probably in Russia, as far as I can see. Victory will be ours. What is victory? Victory is peace. How to achieve peace? It doesn't depend on us. I don't know who it depends on. Just pray. That's all they could say. This woman say, I'm not watching anything, I have 2 children, and this woman is thinking that they will win for sure, and it will be destruction, nothing will be left of Ukraine. So basically, nice people, they thinking the destruction of Ukraine is a good idea. What is basically make me very angry with Russians, that many of them saying, oh, I love Russia, oh, I love Russian people, oh, I'm gonna defend my country. Why they denying Ukraine in the same thing? When Ukrainian is saying, I love Ukraine, I'm gonna defend my country, it's my home. From invasion, from attack, destruction, murder, I'm gonna defend my country. Russians are saying is Nazism. This is a fascism. But when Russians saying the same thing, oh, it's patriotism, it's being a good Russian. And I'm kind of traitor because I don't want Russian people to die, and I don't want them to be murderers who killing Ukrainians. So I'm the bad guy, Putin is good guy, according to some Russian people. But there are other Russian people who are supporting me. Meanwhile, glorious Russian army are looting stores in Russian Federation, in Kursk region, in Glushkovo district. What happened in different places? They're going to pharmacy, they're going to different stores and showing the destruction and places were looted by Russians. And another major defeat for Putin. The strategic Russian pipeline project Power of Siberia 2 have been effectively stopped indefinitely. The government of Mongolia announced their strategic economic plans for the years 2024-28, in which Power of Siberia 2 has been completely left out. So if Putin expected that they're gonna build another pipeline, it isn't gonna happen. So far, Putin only managed to destroy Russia. Russian ruble is falling. and Russian economy is in terrible shape and gonna collapse eventually, and lost over 600,000 only Russian people, dead, wounded, and missing in action. Bravo, Putin! This is what he did to my country. And this is what I'm planning to do. If you notice flowers behind my back, it's not because of Independence Day of Ukraine, it's because I have had birthday recently, and on my birthday I decided to donate for another project of Jake Broe, and this is my post in Quora. Let's make it $1 million for Ukraine again with Jake Broe. On my birthday, my family and I donated to Ukraine. Please join us. And this project is 1,000 Days of War campaign by Jake Broe and the NAFTA 69 Sniffing Brigade for his second campaign of them. Where one time they already raised over $1 million. And this is my donation as well. And in just 5 days, they raised $775,914. Let's see how much they raised today. My post I made yesterday, and today it's already $814,653.92, and 10,294 donations. So you're welcome to join us and help a good cause. You can find out where the trucks will go, which they were buying on this, and some drones, in which particular units they will go. And depends on your donation, you can get a patch or even something written from you on the trucks which will be donated to Ukraine. So please join us. And this is your chance to make a contribution. As Jake Broe said, you can still be a part of this record fundraiser by kicking in $5, $10, or $20. And it will help Ukraine enormously. Thank you for watching. Learn the truth and stay informed. Please help Ukraine, keep helping Ukraine. Thank you very much. See you later.